Have you ever wondered how simple words can transform our daily lives? Do you know those expressions we use constantly without even realizing it, but that carry so much power? In today's episode, I will introduce you to 50 words that you can start using in your daily English that will help you grow significantly in your tongue. Now, before we start, let me tell you a secret. Hearing practice is one of the most important keys in your learning process. I know it can be challenging sometimes. Sometimes you feel that English is there, so close, but it still looks a little distant. You listen, but you can't get it all. This is completely normal, and that's why I'm here to help you. Believe me, it's not just you who go through these difficulties. I understand that you want to speak with confidence, understand everything around you, and of course, feel that you are on the right track. But what you may not know is that the first step in mastering English is to start listening more carefully. And that goes beyond just listening. I want you to really get involved with the language, who feels it is part of you, that you feel how it begins to fit your life in a more natural way. And of course, I'm here to help you with it. So stay with me in this video, because today we will turn the way you see and hear the English. Let's go together on this journey. What's more, I will take you the right tools to take the next step in your learning. Let's go? Let's start to understand the power of these words. What happens when you start incorporating simple words into your daily life in English? Something magical happens. Familiarity becomes the language closer, more natural. Imagine that you are in a situation at work, at school, or even talking to friends, and you realize that you can understand words that once seemed difficult. This is evolution, and I know you can get there. First, let's talk about the words of greeting. Starting a conversation is always the first step, and when you know how to greet people naturally, the rest flows more easily. Since hello or hi may seem simple, but believe me, they are the key to opening many doors. It's not just what you say, but as you say. By using these words, you are already connecting with someone else, and your trust will grow with each step. Now think to me. When you learn to present yourself in a natural way, you start to feel more comfortable in the language. Words like I'm, my name is, or even nice to meet you are essential. They are not just words. They are the bridges that connect to new people, new experiences, and new horizons. And the most interesting thing is that you can practice them anywhere. That's right, anywhere. It can be in an informal conversation with a friend, or even the most serious time of a job. The important thing is that you start using them often, and your fluency begins to emerge naturally. You will feel that more and more, these words are part of your daily vocabulary. And do you know what is most interesting? When you start practicing these words, you not only improve your understanding of English, but also your trust. Because when you know how to start a conversation, everything gets easier. The words are not just symbols, they have power. They can open doors for new opportunities, new connections, and even new growth opportunities. Now let's take a step further. The words of thanks are another powerful key. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks a lot. These simple words make all the difference. They show empathy, gratitude, and connection. What happens when you say thank you in English? The person on the other side, whether she is a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger, will see you with other eyes. It is not just a compliance. It is a way of showing genuinely interested and engaged. By using these words, you begin to feel the importance of being kind, being polite, and most importantly, of practicing English in a true way. And now, think to me for a moment. Imagine that you are in a situation where you need to express an opinion or even make a suggestion. Words like, I think, maybe, and I believe will be your allies. When you know how to express yourself, you are not just communicating something, you are sharing a part of who you are. And most importantly, you are using English to do this increasingly naturally. Let's also talk about how to use words to describe your emotions. It is not just about understanding the language, but of understanding yourself through it. Words like happy, excited, or sad are essential to express what you feel. When you know how to communicate in English about what you feel, you are not only learning your language, but connecting with the world around you in a deeper way. And look, here's a secret to you. English doesn't have to be complicated to be effective. I know that it may often seem that you need a vast vocabulary to understand, but the truth is that you can be extremely effective with simple words. The key is to use them consistently, with confidence, and never give up on continuing. So, I want you to focus on the words you can use now. I want you to think about these words that I'm passing you can fit your routine, your life. When you start using them, you begin to master English in a way that goes beyond academic learning. It is a lived, daily learning, a journey where you make words be part of you. Now imagine that you have the power to use these words not only in a conversation, but in all situations. This is something you can achieve. English does not have to be a seven-headed animal. On the contrary, it can become an extension of you, a way of expressing yourself, of connecting with the world around you. I know you have the power to make it happen. And no matter where you are in your learning, the important thing is that you keep practicing, keep listening, keep expressing yourself. What you already have is more than enough to start. Do not underestimate the strength of these simple words, as they are the foundation for their success. And from now on, each time you use one of these words, you will realize how much they are helping you advance your journey. So let's continue? Don't stop now. Now that we begin to understand the power of simple words, it is time to expand and further deepen our journey in English. And when I speak of expanding, I'm referring not only to the number of words, but the way you use them. Because English is not just about memorizing vocabulary, it's about how you put it all into practice. How do you feel when you start talking? When do you realize that you are able to use the words you have learned more naturally? This, my friend, is progress. Another important step is to learn how to ask questions. What? How? Where? These are words that will help you understand what is happening around you, and more, will help you create new connections. Now imagine you're in a conversation and don't know how to ask something. Without the right words, the conversation can stagnate, right? But when you know how to ask a question, you not only understand better, but also shows interest. This is fundamental. Because English, deep down, is about connecting people. It is about understanding the other and being understood. This is not a competition. This is an exchange. And do you know what is most interesting? Over time, these words become almost automatic. They start to come out naturally without you having to think so much. When you ask something or even make a statement, you already know how the sentence will sound. This happens when you practice so much that English becomes a second nature for you. The secret is to repeat, to expose to the language as much as possible until the words fit spontaneously in your speech. Now let's talk a little about everyday practical situations. Did you know that knowing how to order something in English can be a real key turn on your journey? Simple expressions like, "Can I have," "Could you please?" They are extremely powerful. They will help you interact in shops, restaurants, and even with people from your work or school. By learning these expressions, you will understand how English fits your daily life. They are not just words, but tools that will allow you to have control of your interactions in the language. Best of all, you will feel more comfortable with each new situation. Also, learning how to use courtesy phrases also has immense power. When you use words like please and excuse me, you are not just being educated, you are showing respect for culture and language. And this has a positive effect on how others perceive their fluency. It is like a key that opens doors, allowing you to go into new conversations and new opportunities. Now I want you to stop for a moment and think, what is your biggest dream with English? I know it can be to speak fluently, understand movies, travel to other countries, or even improve your career. Each one has a unique goal, but one thing is certain: constant practice will take you there. And when you start using these words in your daily life, you are already taking a big step towards your goal. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Every word you learn is a victory. And believe me, you are closer than you think of winning your dreams with English. Another thing that will help you a lot is to know how to react in a conversation. By learning expressions such as I agree, I don't think so, and that's interesting, you can't only understand what others say, but you can also interact more fluidly. These words will help you express your opinions and feelings. And this is a great differential, because English is not only a matter of understanding what others say, but also to express themselves. That's why I want to make you an invitation. Imagine if today you started using these words we are talking about here. Imagine if at the end of the day you had already incorporated these expressions into your vocabulary. How would you feel? You would be more confident, more prepared to face an English conversation, safer of your potential. And all this starts with simple but powerful steps. Each new word you learn is a key to your success. And there is no more rewarding path than continuous learning. Let's take another step and talk about words that express time. When you start mastering words like today, tomorrow, yesterday, you start controlling your conversation. Time is a fundamental part of communication, and you need to know how to talk about it accurately. This will help you mark your presence in the conversation, to be clearer, and to connect more effectively to those around you. Also, learning how to use simple adjectives such as big, small, beautiful will greatly increase your ability to describe things around you. Imagine that you are in a conversation and need to describe something. You can use these words to build rich and expressive phrases. This makes all the difference. Best of all, these words are easy to remember and use. Finally, it is important that you practice, practice, and practice. English is a living language, and the more you practice it, the more it becomes a part of who you are. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Each error is a lesson. Each attempt is an opportunity to grow. The important thing is that you keep trying, keep practicing, and keep dedicated yourself. Because, believe me, every step you take in the right direction will take you closer to fluency. Now that we talk about these fundamental words and how to use them in your daily life, I want you to look at your learning with a new perspective. English is a constant journey, but you have already taken a big step toward fluency. Remember, every word you have learned, every phrase you have practiced, puts you a step closer to your goal. And the best of all is that you can start applying everything we discussed from today, not tomorrow, not after, but now. Because by putting these words into practice, you will be surprised at how much you will be able to advance in a short time. I know that sometimes it may seem that the path is long and full of challenges, but I want to give you a word of motivation. You can. Every effort you make now, however small, is contributing to your future success. Do not underestimate the power of small daily steps. They accumulate, and in the end, you will look back and see how much you have won. English will become a natural extension of who you are, and you will feel more confident and able to deal with any situation that arises. I want to encourage you to start practicing today. Take these words you have learned and put them in use. Don't expect the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is now. Put them in your daily conversations, in your interactions, and see how much you will grow. And if for some reason you don't know the right word or make a mistake, that's fine. Remember that error is part of the learning process. Most importantly, you keep practicing, keep believing yourself, and never stop working. Now, before I finish, I want to invite you to continue this journey with us. If you liked this content, if it made sense to you and helped illuminate your way, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Comment down here what else you would like to learn, and of course share this video with whom you think you can benefit. We are together on this learning journey, and your presence here means a lot to us. I deeply thank you for watching until the end. I know that over time you will look back and see how these little steps made all the difference. English is within reach, and you are closer to reaching it than you think. Now go ahead, practice and make the English part of your life. Remember, the best is yet to come. Let's go together and don't stop learning.